Are you here? Right.
The game has begun.
Yeah.
Well, I was making a coffee. I guess that will have to wait. Ooh, looks like there is no choke on this map. Instead, we have a trade route going right down the middle. This is different to the previous Blitz Treaty map that we were on, which had no trading post, and instead a sort of single choke caused by a cliff. Imagine Orinoco, sort of like choke, although that's got a river, which is completely different. But you get the idea, I think. All right, so looks like we're pausing by Mitoe. Is that a thing that players like to do? Pause at the very beginning?
The pause at the very beginning is like programmed in there. It's a trigger, so it's to give players time to like task vills.
Oh, I see. But shouldn't that be like, you know, in Supremacy, we don't pause at the start to do crate micro. What's so different in Treaty?
Because you have like 99 vills in the Blitz Treaty, so you have to like.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, get them all on mills and plantations.
That's fair. At the very beginning of a Supremacy game, if you don't micro your crates very well, then you don't really lose out that much. But when you've got like 70 villages more, well, 99 villages or whatever it is, then that can translate to quite a big deficit, I suppose. What is the rehost for? I would have thought the spawn would be quite consistent.
It's not like they forgot to record. That's what they.
I see. It's not. It's nothing to do with like, oh, my hunts are no good.
They forgot to do tier 10.
What happens if you start in Supremacy?
There's no building radius. They can build anywhere.
Oh, and there's obviously no. You could start attacking straight away.
Yeah.
Is there no way to build a 10-minute? I think there are triggers that enable a 10-minute treaty period. I'm not sure if it has the same building restrictions though. So probably starting TR10 is obviously better. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to match point game number 3 in this best of 32 series between Kaiserklein and Mitoe. This is the Time to Treaty tournament. Saving TP recorded game. Of course, played on the Treaty patch. We have 10 minutes Treaty remaining because this is Blitz Treaty, where players start with lots of buildings. For example, here we do have Mitoe in the sort of south of the map, playing in the color light blue, starting with a bunch of rice paddies. His opponent, though, playing Germans. This is actually a rematch of the very first game in this series. Perhaps Mitoe will do better here. In game number 1, he did not do so well, but that was the first treaty game he had played in a very long time, and he hasn't really had much time to practice because he was drafted into this tournament. Good sport for playing. You can see here the buildings are dynamically selected. Germany starts with a ton more plantations than mills, and that is because they are Germany and they need a lot of coin. For example, Ulans are expensive, and so are skirmishers in the gold department. So we're having more vills gathering gold as a result of that. They start both in the, by the looks of it, Discovery Age, but we will instantly be moved up to the Imperial Age using triggers. Also, the reason the game is paused is also because that is also a trigger. It gives the players a little bit of time to micro 70 villages worth of stuff. For those listening to the stream, we just explained that, but for those perhaps watching where that bot bit got edited out, it's because, you know, crates, all right, fine. That's not a lot. If you mismanage your crates in a Supremacy game, that's not a big deal. But 70 villages, that's going to translate to an advantage of some sort for the player that can load in more quickly. So there is that. It is also worth noting that for the first 4 minutes of the game, all techs research instantly. And this is so that they can get seed drill and artificial fertilizer and fulling mills. Their exotic hardwoods, there it is. Look at all these techs coming super fast. And it's because, obviously, this is the economy they have at this point, including resources, and the XP they will have been initially given as well, is supposed to be representative of 30 minutes of treaty time passing. And this final 10 minutes wouldn't really reflect accurately a treaty game if they didn't have all of these upgrades. So everything for the first 4 minutes will be instant, which is why we see tons of stuff happening. Factory wagon coming out. Look at all these resources on the floor as well. I wonder, is that factory stuck in between some crates? No, he's managed to get out. That would have been unfortunate if it were the case.
Yeah.
But let's move this out of the way. That can happen.
Mitoe
Tons of
needs
stuff
to
happening and
age.
going down.
Mitoe needs to age. Like the first thing you should do here is age to Imperial.
Oh, that's a good point because. Oh, okay. So I thought it automatically aged you. I guess you do have to research that yourself.
You have to research it yourself.
Yeah, because now he's missing out on those capital upgrades that he could be getting if he aged up. He's still an age 2.
I'm supposed to be unbiased as a caster, but I'm tempted to like tell him to age.
Yeah, we can't do that. He's building walls. No, Mitoe, age up. Oh dear. Yeah, go on then. I think you can put it in. I think that's fair enough. So wait for these vills? What is he training vills?
he misunderstood. You aid the temple gives vills. The age up gives vills. You don't wait for the vills, you just age immediately.
Industrial age. Okay, well he's aging now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is just another mistake that wouldn't happen if he played a couple of games. But good sport. Thanks for him for coming in. Otherwise, there wouldn't be this game at all. So, and how significant really is that disadvantage?
It's probably like 50 points. Pretty significant, delaying those Imperial upgrades so much.
Okay, so it is relevant, but it's not gonna decide the game on the spot. We're still going to
probably not going to decide the game.
All right, so we're still going to see. He's now Imperial, and of course, he's going to get all those upgrades there. Let's take a look at the Germans in the back here. Factory now coming in. I believe that is the second one. I'm going to put the foundation down. Look at all these villas on wood at the back here.
Yeah.
That is. So, tell us what do they want to be researching now? Or what do they want to be doing now at this point in the game? Just because. Mostly it's all done for you, right? Like you've got all your techs in.
They're like arsenal upgrades, church upgrades, and stuff. And it's not done for you because like you want to, and the upgrades aren't done for the players because you want to like simulate the treaty scores as best as possible. Like,
yeah,
you would.
Plus, yeah.
I'm trying to think.
What do we got here? 2 fort wagons and a blockhouse wagon. I guess that comes from the consulate. All right, then. I think the key thing to note is in that very first game we saw on the the Blitz treaty map, Mitoe did not have an army built at the very beginning of the game. He didn't manage to fully upgrade or fully get that army out. So we'll see if he does manage to do that here. 6 minutes on the clock.
Yeah.
It's also worth pointing out this is different in the sense that we have a trading route on the map. Obviously, they can't build that right away, but that is something they'll be fighting for. It's worth resources.
Oh shit! You know what? Mitoe doesn't know that there's a card that lets China train water buffaloes.
He doesn't have it in his deck then.
Yeah, water buffaloes are basically like cows, but for China. But yeah, he doesn't have it in his deck.
Oh dear. How much of a disadvantage is that going to be?
Well, it's basically like not having cows as Brits, so yeah, pretty big disadvantage.
That's a big deal then.
Not as bad as it would be in regular 40 because like this is the 30 minutes, the resources granted the resources granted in Blitz like assume that both players boomed optimally. Okay,
so the resources he got would have accounted for having cows. So really, it's just these last 10 minutes that.
Yeah.
Okay, and for however long the treaty period lasts. It's a shame he doesn't have that card then. Though I think the more important thing for him at this point is he is training a few units there. So hopefully the bigger thing for Mitoe will be having a starting army, which he did not really have many units in that first. So I think that's the biggest thing that's going to influence the game compared to the last one we saw on a Blitz map.
Yeah, China is actually supposed to win the start army really hard against Germany because China can overpop with the brigade army from the consulate, and Germany can't really overpop with anything. Yeah.
Okay, and all those extra population slots are going to be. I get is that like more or less something that determines the strength of a civ? how much ability it has to overpop.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it like. I mean, I guess it's like an aspect, but it does they're like it's not like it's not the most important one because like
Okay.
Germany is still a very decent civ even though they have the weakest start army in the game.
Yeah. Okay, but how important really the start army? Well, obviously it's important. You definitely need it there when the game begins, but it's only the start army. It's like it's gonna get used
Yeah,
up. I mean,
yeah, and then and then like both players will start streaming in reinforcements, and after the initial push from the better start army, it kind of stops mattering.
yeah. So it's basically how much advantage, how much distance can I get out of my starting
Yeah,
army?
yeah,
But from there on out, it's basically down to regular war of attrition.
yeah. Um, don't forget
Okay.
to delete your stuff.
Oh yes, and for those wondering why I even have stuff, it's so that players can't build. It affects the starting radius. That's probably obvious to everyone on the stream, but there may be people tuning in. Who knows? All right, this is where it gets exciting. We've got 3 minutes remaining. What sort of starting army is China going to go for? How do you compose it? Do you keep it like relatively even in terms
Yeah,
of like the? There's no
yeah,
like special
relatively
unit you
even.
can. Uh,
Probably like 30 Chokunu, 30 Pike, and then 20 hand
where
mortars, and the rest is Cav.
Yeah, what's your opinion on the heavy cannons? There aren't any coming out from Kaiserklein, aka gimmicks, right
Yeah,
now.
I think he's gonna
Is
go for a more atypical start army, just judging by these dops he's making,
Yeah,
like a
okay.
melee
Do you
start
think the
army.
cannons are less valuable on this map because it's not as it's much more open and your opponent might be able to flank them more
Yeah,
easily?
yeah, they're definitely a bit less valuable.
Okay,
Like,
so in that choky map that we saw
yeah,
in the first game, that was you couldn't really, providing you had units in the choke. There's absolutely no way anyone could get to around the back and kill your cannons.
yeah,
Um, Something I want to point out: it looks like the Mitoe here is gathering wood. Not it, well, some are in his base, but mostly it's outside. Well, not mostly, but some are outside his base. Is that to conserve the amount of wood that is inside his base?
yeah. Probably he probably spread his build that fills out among the woods so that like yeah, there's not like 30 clustered in one spot, and then they don't gather as efficient, and then they gather more efficiently when they're
Yeah,
spread
they
out.
don't. You don't want them bumbling around into
Yeah,
each other.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got 1 minute 50, and then players are going to head on out on the map and start building absolutely everywhere. Looks like Mitoe getting his units into position.
Yeah, his base looks a lot better than it did in the last Blitz game. Some forward war huts here. I mean, more academies.
Yeah. Oh, he's deleted a unit there. What do you think that was for? To queue up one last banner army?
Oh, it's to make enough pop so that he can overpop with the brigade army.
I see. Yeah, now he's
Yeah.
245 out of 210. What tech gives you that extra 10 pop?
Um. Well, no, on the RE patch, China had 220 max pop, and there was no tech. They just have max pop of 220 instead of 200. And
Oh,
on the treaty patch, that was nerfed to 210.
okay, that's interesting. Is that just part of China? They just have a higher
Yeah,
max
it
pop
is.
limit,
Yeah, it is.
and that's in ordinary supremacy as well.
Yeah.
Huh. The more you know. I didn't even know that. I guess in
Yeah.
supremacy it rarely matters.
Yeah.
But what is that because I guess village like the way villages function? I don't know. It's probably
I
just
don't
how
know.
it makes sense. I mean, China was renowned for being this
Yeah.
enormous place with. I guess that's not really okay. I guess in treaty that's actually quite valuable, but in ordinary supremacy it's rarely going to matter,
Yeah.
or you rarely get to the point where it will matter. Not to say it does. All right, we have 23 seconds on the clock here. Looks like Mitoe bringing these units into position. I'm a bit confused as to where the fighting's going to be. Like when we had the choke on the map, it was quite obvious
I
where the
mean,
fighting would
usually
be.
it just happens like in the center with maybe a few skirmishes on the side while players are taking map control. But
Yeah.
yeah, Mito's
Okay.
army positioning is strange. Kaiser's
It's
is more
unusual.
standard.
Couldn't Kaiser just rush forward? There's no units there to
Yeah,
stop him.
he could definitely just rush forward and start sieging these walls.
isn't he just like Mito's just like, well, here you go, and just giving him some free ground, right?
Yeah,
Basically, they didn't
yeah.
even fight over it. He's just like lost all this ground for free.
Maybe it was waiting for the gender armies, but he should definitely fight this army now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Where are the Ulan's gonna go? Are they gonna? Is he? Well, what should Blue be doing? Looking for the opponent's units or trying to siege walls?
Just like sieging until the opponent comes to you and then attacking the opponent's army.
Oh, I see. Bit like cards.
Yeah.
Old hand reforms coming in. Okay, maybe that's why I didn't want to fight, because...
Oh yeah, that's big.
Yeah, so if he was fighting without that, that would be...
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably wasn't fighting then. Okay, yeah, now the units get a substantial upgrade because of that, and now the fighting's going to happen. He lost a couple of buildings to the Zulan here. Should they be moving back towards the... Oh, well.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he's taking out a lot of these
Yeah.
buildings. Maybe that's really valuable, actually.
Don't know. Ulan's
Well,
traditionally
you're the
are
expert.
used for sieging.
What do they have siege-wise? That's not too bad. Well, actually, it's probably just because they have high attack in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. All right then. What do you make of at least Mitoe has a starting army here. He did seem to give up a lot of ground for free, and it's like Gimmicks has plotted down a ton of buildings, but at least he's not like at his wall. Well, actually, we kind of are, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's good that this game Mitoe actually like built a decent FB like right after the treaty ended.
Yeah, I like that fort next to the trading
post. So losing
post.
the buildings back here isn't as big of a deal.
Okay, because he can replenish from over there instead.
Yeah.
So what does Kaiserklein want to do here then? He needs to take out Mito's forward buildings. Is that what he wants to do? Stop the reinforcements coming in. Like basically everything he does has to be framed in the mindset of I need to get to kill as much resources as possible.
Yeah, he should. I think he should have some mortars behind this.
Okay. And obviously killing the forward buildings will result in his opponent being able to field reinforcements. It would take his reinforcements would take longer to get back in the fight, meaning that his population advantage would be higher for longer, and that would result in winning the war of attrition. So that's basically what he needs to think about there. Looks like most of his units are clustered. Oh, some Ulans coming out there on top of the... Oh, how quickly... Obviously, everything trains quickly because you have all the upgrades, but there's no insta-train stuff, right?
Yeah. I think Mito's native production is also looking a lot better this game. He's not getting overwhelmed as quickly.
That's good. Okay, how much damage do these outposts add in?
They do pretty decent damage, especially the Cav.
Yeah, is that something he should... Oh, they do bombard damage now. That's interesting. So is that something he should be rebuilding more of or clustering them in?
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, outposts aren't really useful if you're pushing your opponent. They're only useful if you're, like, defending and camping.
Makes sense, but if he's gained some ground, like he's pushed forward, so in that ground that he's gained, he needs to rebuild towers or put towers there and put buildings there. And every time you gain new grounds, you want to rebuild stuff. Repelling volley has come in. What does that do?
It increases the Chokunu multiplier against heavy infantry.
Okay.
And goons, apparently.
Looks like Kaiserklein has had a slight pop advantage because Mito's just retrained all of his stuff, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good sup players, no cannons.
Yeah, I would really like to see some widows from Kaiser here. And probably some more scrims too.
Here come a couple of mortars now. It looks like Mito's pop advantage. Looks like Mito's got the pop advantage coming now. I should look at the pop. Yeah, they're both maxed out. Mitoe has to... Looks like we've got a war academy up there. Is that going to be relevant?
Not really. I mean, because you can't really train pure siege units from it. You can only train like half siege units and half Chokunu.
Yeah. Okay. More units flooding in.
And so it looks like by investing pop here, he's actually kind of losing the main fight here. Although, how many?
Okay. In general, it looks like Mitoe has an absolute ton of Chokanu. Oh, and 40 Kwang pikemen as well. Kaiser is at 170 pop. He's not. He needs to keep that up high.
Yeah, the Ratton's coming in from Mitoe is gonna help out a lot.
Is that a shipment?
Yeah, it's a shipment. An infinite native shipment.
Okay, so occasionally they just add value to your fight.
Yeah. Yeah. They like basically.
It's just a big influx of cav every now and again.
Yeah.
Double-faced armor.
Like,
what is that?
They basically like beat everything they come into melee with, except for like heavy infantry.
Yeah, and doppelsoddens.
Like, if you get Rattans on top of your opponent's goons, they can kill them.
Oh wow, that's nice. Okay, a flying crow coming in. How powerful are they? And what should it be targeting?
I feel like they're not as good as horse artillery, but still pretty good.
Should it be targeting units or buildings? The flying crow. Oh no, because
they should be targeting skirms.
Okay, and the mortars should be targeting artillery or buildings.
Yeah,
looks like he's. What is the most important building to kill? Looks like he targeted an outpost there, or his production buildings. There.
Probably kill the forward stables first, and then the embassies, because you can only have 3 embassies. So killing 1 embassy basically cuts your opponent's native production in a third.
Oh, I see. And then like they'd have to rebuild it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we see more mortars coming in now, but he looks like a cav switch coming from Mitoe, because there's not actually. That's really nice to see cavalry here, because there's a ton of skirms and not really anything to stop them. He's not got okay, some doppelsodners and Ulans now coming out, but it's too late. He's on the line and done some damage there. Oh, petards, is that a consulate thing?
Yeah, that's from the Brit consulate.
I see. And what are they going to target? The stables and the embassies? There's no embassies nearby, so just any military building they can kill by the looks of it. They're also, the petards are taking up damage. They're being attacked, so they're like sponging a bit as well, which is nice. Mitoe down to 190 pop. He needs to field 20 more units coming in.
Should have some like hand mortars here to kill these embassies and the forward towers in the stable.
Yeah, big flux of cav coming in now. Did they insta train? It felt like he just popped out hundreds all at once.
Yeah.
From that one stable.
It's actually not good to pop out a ton of cav on one side. Should like spread them out a little bit, like pop them from different stables, or just like maybe.
That is his only stable though, really, in the area. Mitoe's bought a lot of ground. I'd like to see him fill up some military buildings and stuff like that behind the ground he's now got.
Mitoe is in a really good position actually right now with the side war huts here and having cut down Kaiser's FB.
Yeah, it looks like he's very heavy on Chokanu here. Those cav are gonna do lots of damage. They're gonna be quite effective. Here we see a switch to some cavalry coming in. Looks like they're gonna get on top of those skirmishes, which have got nothing really to protect them. Just nice decision to bring them in. Culverin's coming out. They're gonna deal with that pesky flying crow. There it is. It goes down. More cavalry coming out for Mitoe.
Either of these players would benefit a lot from some siege, like hand mortars for China or normal mortars for German.
Yeah, so you want to see more siege in general.
Yeah. Like building in each other's faces here, like Kaiser on this side, then Mitoe on this side.
Pardon me. Hand infantry hit points coming in. Another flying crow. Is that just being... Where is that ticking over from?
Oh, it's from the Wonder here, the Confucian Academy, I think.
Oh, right. Do they spawn... Do they overpop? So they spawn even if you're max pop?
I'm not sure how that works. I think for the China wonders it actually waits.
Yeah. I'd like to. Do you think in the treaty patch, if it were possible, would you prefer it? If so, things that have a blue bar ticking over until they create, for example, heavy cannons, Ottoman villages. Do you think that they should spawn even if you're at max population?
No, they shouldn't. It should
Okay.
just. I think it should just like wait until you're not at max pop and then spawn it. Like
Okay, but
freeze
obviously
the
it would
cycle.
wait and not another one would start queuing behind it. It has to be like it'll just
Yeah.
so it will sit at 99% and then spawn when there is room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Mitoe doing really well. He's covered so much ground. He's managed to push Kaiser quite a far back. No village. Looks like we do see a villager coming out as well. He might start filling in some of this empty space that he's made.
Not really making hand mortars to capitalize on it though, and siege his opponent's buildings. He's like Kaiser still has this flank, like, and he's rebuilding up here too. Starting to get heavy cannons out. It's looking better for Kaiser now.
Heavy cannons, yeah. Is that from the infinite shipment?
Yeah, from the infinite shipment.
Okay. How much of a power spike do those things represent? Are they are they going to push Mitoe quite far back, given he has a mostly infantry army, or are they going to be dealt with if he
the
can,
heavy cannons are really good. Like there are matchups that if Germany didn't have that infinite heavy cannon shipment, they would lose, but they win with the heavy cannon shipment. Like without the heavy cannon shipment, Germany would probably lose to Spain, but with the heavy cannon shipment, they can win that matchup.
I've learned from playing cards how good heavy cannons are.
Same as versus ports, actually.
Yeah. Okay, looks like Kaiser, Mitoe retraining units here in a way. It looks like he's lost a lot of ground just by forgetting to train them. Cavalry on top of his Chokanu, not too good. Just trying to get those Quang in put a position. Here comes some culverin, going to take out those hand mortars. So he has trained a few there. Heavy cannon now coming forward. Sadly, it's being attacked by the hand mortars, but I think it will survive. The culverin should dispatch those hand mortars. Trying to get that heavy cannon into a place where it can kill.
Yeah.
It looks like he's focusing the hand mortars with it, but he's going to be able to kill those Chokanu. Lots of cavalry coming in from Mitoe, retrain them. A nice choice there, given that there's not really anything left to kill the skirms. I think Kaiserklein a bit heavy on skirms now. Humunka's coming in.
Good, like
they're protecting the cav, so that's good.
Like a couple Ulans from Kaiser here.
Looks like these cav coming around the side. He's just going to attack move there instead of sending them straight onto. Just a constant stream of Humunka, so I don't really think it matters too much. Rat and Shield Pop coming out now. Shipment has arrived. Going to bring them forward. Get them. They're going to eat up those skirmishes there. Just going to get them straight in. And cavalry on top of this as well.
He's going to use the Humunkas to...
to target the Rat and Shield. Might see a dop switch from Ulan's coming out. They're going to get on top of those hand mortars there, redirecting a few cav off to deal with that. I wonder how many they're going to take.
That.
Yeah, thankfully it's got like 4 in that block count. Okay, the Rat and Shield all down now, but Kaiser on 160 population there needs to jack that.
Yeah, he's out of wood now, so his native production is going to suffer.
Oh wow, that's a big deal.
His food is pretty low too.
So yeah, he's on 35. It's hard to tell really because the last number. Well, Mitoe's quite low on gold. He ought to switch. He's got 36,000 food, but only 7,000 gold. So if he reaches a position where he's like got too much, like no gold, that could really suck. Both players drop. I feel like could concentrate more population in the center there. But then again, those hand mortars are representing quite a lot of pop. A dot coming out and those Humunkas on top of the hand mortars. Skirmishes, nothing to protect them here. Oh, we do see a pop from... Okay, Humunkas coming out, a couple of dots. That's going to be nice. Heavy cannons have arrived as well. So now Mitoe should be pushed back here by Kaiser. Lots of units streaming in.
Yeah, yeah, Mitoe's kind of getting run over here.
Let's take a look at the action going on in the south of the map there. A few Quang pikemen just shutting down those cavalry. Looks like he wants to take out that that artillery foundry. Mitoe, in response, putting some production buildings outside these walls so that kind of thing can't happen.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to locate that villager there that's gathering wood from Kaiser, otherwise this might happen again.
Yeah,
But
and
at least
shipment is stable too.
can play reactively to that now. Chokanu's getting back into that smaller choke, so those doppels can't do too much damage. Lots of skirms there for Kaiser.
Yeah, I think he's just sitting back waiting for his resources to replenish because he knows if he keeps pushing in, he's gonna run out of food and or wood.
Okay. So why doesn't he retask like pretty much everything to
he already has, but he has like 14 on coin though. That probably should be switched over to food, but
okay.
He already has like 55 on food and 20 on wood. So if he sits back and waits 2 minutes, it'll replenish pretty quickly.
Alright, so those gold villagers could still come off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, but overall, at least he's not sitting on 0 wood. He can keep those. Okay, rat and shield push coming out. Shipment has arrived, takes down that horse cannon here. Oh, this is going to be nice. Nothing here to stop these rat and shields. It's got a really nice position there on top of all these skirmishes.
And the cav coming in too.
Yeah, going to eat them up. Homuncus and Dops coming out in response, but too little, too late. They're not going to stop them from getting there. That's going to be a nice chunk of resources that he's going to be pretty pleased with. Just means his opponent's resource numbers will go down soon. He's got Mitoe has 3 shipments available, so we could see a few rat and pops coming out. Would be nice to see Mitoe build that trading post as well.
The Ulan's coming in behind Mitoe's army.
Yeah, that's good.
Again,
gonna get on those Chokanus.
Some walls from Mitoe would help with that, or if he would like take out this flank.
Yeah, didn't manage to get those cav on top of the Chokanu in a way that I thought he would. I think now the threat is mostly gone because he's got oh no, they're blue homuncus. What am I talking about?
Yeah, Mitoe's native training is kind of stopped for the last few minutes for some reason.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, and Kaiser's almost in on this side too.
Oh, really? Let's take a look down there.
Sieging with Ulans.
Okay,
that might be game.
Cool.
If Kaiser spreads out the Ulans probably throughout Mitoe's eco.
Okay, he's got a few...
two everywhere and killing vills.
Yeah, perhaps he can have a rat and shield pop in his base, and that might, if he's got one about to come, that could be good. But losing these vills would be kind of tough, especially since he's also not dealt with that lone stable where they're streaming in from. Because now, basically, I feel like Kaiser should...
Mitoe did see it. Mitoe did see it, though, and he did react. So
completely
it's not
forgot Nats
so he's not going to lose like 20 vills here, which is good for him.
Okay, no cav streaming into his base, and he has remembered that Nats exist, so that's a good thing. Looks like, yeah, you can just see all the units coming through. And that hole in the wall being repaired, that breach coming out. Though we do see a ton of cav, or a few cav pop out there. Looks like we've got 8 cav heading his way, but the wall is going to be repaired. But still a little bit of pressure for him to deal with.
Yeah.
It does though mean there's 8 fewer cav in this fight here, so Mitoe might be able to gain a lot of ground. Big ton of cav coming through now from a stable somewhere else, getting into this fight.
These flank mortars from Kaiser are nice. Some idle pop here from Mitoe. I think I saw that like 2 minutes ago. Those have been here for like 2 or 3 minutes, unfortunately. For Mitoe.
God, it's a big deal. It's alright though, Wicked Cossack's watching the stream and they're in a Discord together, so... Cossack will tell him when he... Petards are being trained. Gonna take down those walls. Let's take a look at the main fight again. Mitoe is winning the main fight.
Yeah, he's out of like food and... I mean, point and wood though. And it looks like his vills, he's down 20 vills too, so like, I don't know if that's just from FBing or if Kaiser Zulans killed some, or like a combination, but he should really be at 99 vills at this point.
Yeah. It looks like Mitoe dropping back. Oh no, he stopped there.
Yeah,
Big bunch of Ulan coming through.
This one looks poised to do a lot more damage.
Yeah, he's capitalizing on the breach in the wall there. We do see a couple of units coming out. Factory might go down.
Yeah, follow-up mortars are going to take out that factory.
Check the main fight here.
Yeah.
And there's 2 heavy cannons out as well, so that's pretty good against almost exclusively infantry army there.
Doppelon heavy cannon is a really good composition. If you have
Oh,
enough
he's
heavy
really...
cannons, you don't even need to make scrims. Just like spam Doppelon heavy cannon, and you can drain your opponent really fast.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a good point. The more of
Yeah.
them you stack up, the better. Ulan's now coming through. Looks like some dropping to 59 vils. And this is stopped his eco. Look, he's only got one.
Yeah, he basically idled Mito's entire eco. And right when Mito was running out of like wooden coin, that's not good. Mortaring some villages too. He's at 180 pop now. And stacking more heavy cannons in the main fight. Looks like it's about to be game. But good effort from Mito though.
Okay, the walls have been repaired, but he's lost a lot of vills, and there's a lot of idle time. No wood at all, almost no gold. And Kaiser here, look, he's now pushing back like crazy. Mito, 120 pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 heavy cannons. They're stacking up quite nicely now. Why doesn't he just send all 4 shipments right now and just get all these heavy cannons out?
Yeah, Mito had a chance to win this game if he defended the flanks from Kaiser, walled a bit more maybe, and made some man mortars to siege when he did have the push going.
Yeah, he was doing really well earlier.
Yeah.
He has managed to push this thing back though, and then these units can get back into the actual. He's looking for that last villager. He's found it down there.
He's just over. He's never gonna replenish his wooden coin. I mean, or he needs a lot of time, and meanwhile Kaiser's just sacking this FB here.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big shot.
Yep.
Yeah. 4 heavy cannons now. They're going to be tough to deal with. Why does it cost 700 coin to send them?
It costs 500 coin on the treaty patch.
But it doesn't cost anything on
yeah,
normal.
it's because the treaty patch people like felt like it was too strong in like low resource situations to be able to just spam heavy cannons for free.
Oh right, okay. Huh, fair enough. Mito's got 7 shipments. Why isn't he sending Rattan shields?
He doesn't have enough coin for it.
Oh yeah. Should he? Oh, he's only got 4,000 food as well. This could be over.
Yeah, I think I think it was over when Kaiser mortared that factory, got in his base, and killed the 20 vills.
Yeah. Like there's like almost no coin, and that food is so low. His opponent has 1,400 resources total, plus the wood as well, so even more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this was interesting game. It was definitely a lot closer than the game on the cliffs, Matt.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So Mitoe pushed this back, but once Kaiser like remasses, he stopped training units. He's gonna go for the flank again. Looks
Yeah,
like.
mortars coming out there. And there's no military buildings from Mitoe to sort of respond quickly to this.
He has like the native post and a couple war academies, but that's it. I think if Kaiser just like kept making units and mortaring down this front base, the game would be over in another 2 minutes. But I guess he wants to end it.
But providing he doesn't take any crazy bad trades, he'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, he would have to do something. He would have to mess up like repeatedly to do this, because Mitoe needs to go back up to win, and that's gonna take a while.
Yeah. And its draining is already a very low food pile.
Yeah.
He's basically
Mito's
got no
completely
resources
broke
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the remasses come in. Mitoe can't sustain that population of
Mulan's running
210
into
anymore.
base. He doesn't have any resources to train units to deal with this even, so.
So that's GG right there.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen China with a score this low, to be honest.
Give him some slack.
Normally people resign before it gets to this point where
I
units
see.
in your base and completely broke.
GG. Still for knobs anyway. Brilliant. Alright, that does conclude the series. This is the round of 32. Kaiserklein, aka Gimmicks, versus Mitoe. Mitoe does lose 2-1. Sadly, that very first game, he just didn't know what he was doing. This was much improved on that before. And if he improves at this pace going forward, then Mitoe could have... I think we could have seen some really good games if Mitoe had some time to practice. But still, game number 2, he did manage to win. That was a pretty interesting, an unorthodox treaty strategy. And I have them all recorded, so that is pretty good. Good luck to Kaiserklein, who progresses on to the round of 16. Mitoe is eliminated.
Yeah. Almost quit the game again, but I guess I'll take a really quick look at the post game.
What should I look at?
Like the Vilgraph and combat XP and kills.
Military score. Huh. All right. That's me done then. Thank you very much, Dictator, aka Conqueror. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was nice.
That was a nice change of pace to do Treaty. I don't mind doing it from time to time, but it's quite time-consuming, I will say that much. All right, that's me out. I will see you later on.
Yeah, see you. I feel kind of out of it today. Sorry if my casting wasn't up to par. Didn't feel like it was up to par today, but hopefully you enjoyed the games anyway. And tune into the next series, which will be like probably tomorrow.